Welcome to Roll for Imagination, where a group of friends from across the lands join forces to explore the magical world of Dungeons and Dragons. Welcome back to another episode of Myths of Favalonia. So today we are doing a very special secret side quest episode for the wonderful Beth / Ebony.
Hey.
Hello, my love. How are you doing? You excited?
I'm good. Slightly terrified.
Literally an episode dedicated purely to Ebony.
Yeah, purely to the fact that last main episode, Ebony made a bad decision.
Yeah, I may... It was my first time running a proper big battle, and I may have accidentally offed Ebony in the first strike. Soz, babe.
It's okay. That's D&D for you.
Yeah, I know. It's D&D, but, you know, I thought, let's give Ebony a chance. Let's give her a bit of an extra session to show what she's got. Beth, would you like to give us a little secret fact about Ebony before we begin?
I prepared a fact. Okay, this is totally random and not even exciting.
That's fine. Go for it.
Let's think up on the spot. The boots that Ebony wears, she's extremely attached to. The big, like, biker boots. And
loving it. I've got Doc Martens in my mind.
Yeah, that's the vibe,
like the proper punk rock ones that have got the belt buckles that go up to the kneecap.
Yeah, let's
go. Or are they
with
just
that.
below?
Sure.
Mate, it's your girl, your vision. I'm just
I'll have to
putting
get back
words.
to you on that.
Okay.
However, she's very attached to them, and she's had the same ones for like 10 years, and they are like good shoes.
So you know that's the sign of a good shoe.
Exactly. They've been through a lot together, a lot of adventures in the last 10 years.
Well, let's see if we can find out about some of those adventures tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah, so my little fact for one of our NPCs is about Freya and Rufus. So Freya found Rufus when she was foraging in the woods not long after the death of her parents. She felt bad for the fact that he also had no parents, because she found their corpses having been eaten by wolves. So she took little Rufus in, and they've been completely inseparable since. They're best buddies, and no lizard man is going to come between them.
Told you
I have decided. Yes, it is decided.
DM's ruling.
Exactly.
Sorry, Brandon.
Back off. Find another fairy companion. Okay, so rather than doing a summary, I'm going to just crack on kind of from where we were with Ebony and then go from there. You've just released the sacrifices. You've seen this big sanguine monstrosity, a nebula of a roiling maw with bloody tentacles, with cultists all around you. The first thing you did when you saw all of that is you ran straight for the prisoners and you set them free with your magic. As the sacrifices flee, you hear a yowl from the red-robed man. He throws back his hood in anger, showing a mask fashioned after a snake. Seething with anger, he points at Ebony.
The heretic has stolen out your gifts. Devour her.
As these words leave his lips, the bloody nebula twists and distorts, and a tendril shoots towards Ebony. Ebony, you stagger back, feeling a stabbing pain radiating from your chest. You look down, realizing that tendril has a mouth which is currently buried into your chest. You feel every pulsation as it drains your blood like a leech, coldness creeping into you from your extremities. Your vision is beginning to blur around the edges, like the dark walls of this horrific cave are closing in on you. You look around frantically, looking for a way out of this monstrous maw. You grit your teeth against the pain, but it continues to grow. You begin to feel your grasp slipping, the darkness closing in, and the strength you had beginning to sap away. As your pulse gets slower and slower, your eyelids begin to flutter shut. Feeling your last ounce of life being drawn out of you, you look up. At the far end of the cave opposite where you stand is the outline of a woman wearing a flowing purple toga with beautiful white hair cascading down her back. They face away from you, hiding their visage, but your memory stirs from your childhood. One you thought you had buried long ago. As if directly in your ear, you hear a whisper, faint and distant, yet just within reach. Blood of mine, I hear your soul's tears. Don't worry, I've got you now. You close your eyes, and what seems like an eternity passes. Random memories flashing through your mind's eye. You see the faces of your new comrades, sat in the hay cart, picking straw out of their hair. Then there is Drakios, smiling at you as you share a drink together at an inn. Next, the flashes of memories, finding your satchel turned out on the floor. Something's missing. Your belongings are strewed all over the place. As this bitter memory fills your view, you feel something on your lower back tug, as if you're attached to a string. Suddenly, you're flying backwards, away from the anger, away from the betrayal, and your eyes are open. A blue sky stretches out above you. Around you, you hear the rustle of leaves, and a gentle breeze caresses your exposed skin. Surrounding you is a field of brilliant white flowers. Their heady copper scent fills your nose as you take in a deep breath. For the first time in a long time, you feel relaxed and at ease. Ebony, what do you do?
I stand up. I want to take in my surroundings some more.
Do a perception check for me.
16 total.
Okay. So as you stand up, you realise that you're no longer wearing your armour. All you're wearing is your leather trousers, your sexy kinky boots, and someone has bound your chest. Like they've... You know, in like the old samurai movies where you'd find a female samurai, they bind the chest with the ropes, or even when you bind your chest, your chest is bound tightly with gauze and bandages. Your shirt, your leather armor, it's gone. You don't know where it is. As you stand up and you look around, all you see around you is an endless field of these white flowers. Then from behind you, you hear, "Good morning, Starshine."
I'm going to spin around really quick, really fast.
Right. So, you've just looked behind you, and then suddenly you hear this voice. You spin around, and as if from nowhere, there is now a pavilion standing there. Sat in this pavilion is a woman at a wrought iron, like a black wrought iron table with a matching set of chairs. This young woman is sitting in a light summery dress that covers her feet. Her light brown hair is in a loose fishtail braid hanging over her shoulder. Tucked behind her ear is one of the white flowers that you see around you. She greets you with a warm smile and a raised teacup.
How far away am I from her?
Fire about 10 feet. Literally, it has appeared behind you. Would you like a spot of tea, dear?
I'm going to walk over to her table, but I'm not going to take some tea. I just want to say, where is this place?
Where is this place?
Where am I?
You're in my field.
Or why am I in your field? Well, I was in a cave just moments ago.
I don't know, Starshine. You're in my field. 1 minute I was alone. The next, you were bleeding out in my flowers. I patched you up and here we are.
Who are you?
My name is Molly. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Starshine.
Yeah, I need to get back. My friends need me.
You do need to go back, Starshine, you do. Not right now, but soon. Would you care for a tea? You see, on the table, there is already a matching tea set with a cup and saucer with a steaming hot cup of tea. As if ready for you.
I'm gonna pick it up and kind of hold it to my face and, I don't know, just kind of feel the warmth of it. Does it feel normal? Do I feel alive?
Yeah, you can feel the warmth of the brew radiating through the china teacup. It's not a big teacup, it's a proper like fancy delicate china teacup. So don't grip it too hard. But you can feel the heat, you can smell the herbal scent coming off of this brew as you take a sniff. And it feels revitalizing. She picks up her own teacup and goes and just has a little giggle and has a sip of her own and says, "Why don't you take a seat?"
Okay, I do. And once I sit down, I'll take a sip as well. Just a little one.
Just a sip. And as you take this sip of this tea, you just feel good. You feel as if you are like chilled. There's no horrible feelings, like the fear that you're kind of feeling, it starts to melt away, and you just get a sense of belonging and safety. And Molly puts her teacup down and threads her fingers on her lap, and she goes, "So, do you know why you're here?"
Ebony's gonna put the tea back down and push it away slightly. And I think her thought process with that is, if it's making her feel relaxed and at home, that's going to make her complacent, and she needs to know why she's here.
Okay.
So in response to the question, she's going to just push away the teacup and say no.
"Well, sweetie, you nearly died. In fact, technically you did die for a second there."
Okay, but I'm all right now.
Yes, you are. A certain favour was called in by a certain someone. You were spirited away and brought to me.
A favour? By who? Who would call in a favour for me?
That's not for you to know right now, Starshine.
Why are you calling me Starshine?
Pet name. You may not know why you're here, but I cannot tell you why you're here. But I do know that there is a reason why you're here. Someone wants to test your worth.
My worth?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
I'm not at liberty to divulge that information, unfortunately. My role here is to make sure that you're okay and to provide the test.
Have I got any of my weapons?
No. Literally, all you're wearing, as I said, is this binding gauze, this bandage across your chest from where the tendril hit you, your trousers and your shoes. You don't see your shirt, your armour, your weapons. You can't see any of that anywhere here.
I want to imagine Ebony almost kind of reaches her hand to where her dagger would be, instinctively.
And Molly kind of, she sees this and she chuckles and she goes, I'm very sorry, Starshine, but weapons aren't allowed in my field. Now, I know that you're on edge, and I know that you're scared, and I know you don't trust me. But the trust has to start sometime. She reaches out her hand to you across the table, her alabaster skin contrasting with the solid black of the intricately woven metal of the table. Why not take the first step now?
What does taking the first step entail?
You'll see. No harm will come to you. I swear it. The hand still sits there, waiting for yours.
I'm going to stand up and just take one last look around the field, looking as far into the distance as I can see. Has anything changed?
No, literally all you see is just an never-ending field of these white flowers. They're like I'll send it in our chat, a picture of it. These white flowers with 5 petals that spread out into the shape of like a star. And from that star come out 3 pollen stalks. What are they called? Oh god, I can't remember. Stema, I want to say, or something like that. Probably correct me if I'm wrong. The green, verdant stem comes down from the flower, and just before it hits the ground, the stem turns a dark reddish black. But they're all the same. You've just got an endless field of flowers.
I'll turn back to her and take her hand.
As you place your hand within hers, the scene around you begins to melt away, like water spilt onto a painting. Colours bleed into each other. The world around you swirls and reshapes itself, slowly setting into a new view. Where there was previously a lush field of the flowers, you now find yourself standing on a roughly carved stone floor. Around you are tightly packed buildings, forming a slum of cramped patchwork homes and inns. You look up and see the familiar sky above you, not one of the open atmosphere you've grown to know, but of solid stone. Crystals of varying size lay embedded in the stone, giving off light, much like the stars that you've come to love. The city you ran from. You're in the city of Kelna. So you look down. The clothes that you have become used to, that you use as a shield to the world, have been replaced with a well-worn and very patchwork-fixed, simple gown that you remember from your childhood. Just grey, simple dress, just about down to just above the knees, and you've just got a simple tatty pair of leather boots on. Your arms are exposed. You know this dress. You recognise this dress. You know where you are.
She's going to spin round and take in her surroundings some more, and upon realising where she is, just say, "No, I can't be here." If I look down at my hands, do they look the same? Do I look younger?
You look down at your hands, and the calluses that you have gained through your adventuring have disappeared. You still have calluses on your hand from your times in the kitchen, scrubbing the floors, but not the little nicks and scars from when you taught yourself how to wield a weapon, the burns from when you taught yourself how to wield your power.
Okay, she's going to stumble back and just say again a bit louder, "No, I can't be here."
So as you look around as well, Molly seems to have disappeared. But you hear in the back of your mind, "Don't worry, Starshine. I am with you. This is not real. This is reliving a memory. I know you don't want to revisit your past, but you need to start fixing the past before you can fix your future. Trust me and continue. You are safe."
Continue where?
Do a perception check for me.
6 total.
Okay. So you are fully, panic mode.
Mm-hmm.
You are not really, apart from the fact that you know that you're in the city of Kelna, you don't know what's going on around you. You're not taking notice of any of the people that you see walking past you in the shadows. You don't take notice of what the buildings are around you. All you know is that you cannot be here again.
Mm-hmm.
While you're distracted, you suddenly feel a solid mass hit the back of your leg from behind you. Can you roll me a strength saving check, please?
Oh no. 11. Strength is not my strong suit.
No, it's not your strong suit, is it? So, as this solid mass hits the back of your leg, you are completely, taken aback from it. And you just go down like a tree. You hit the floor. You haven't hurt yourself. You've landed on your outstretched hands. You've caught yourself. But your legs are now bound by something. You look around, and clamped onto your leg is a mass of messy hair, black and tangled, and surprisingly strong limbs clamped around your calf. And you hear, I got you, big sis Evie. A grubby face looks up at you with sparkling eyes and a smile that fills her entire face. You recognise the little halfling girl as Tilly, one of your young charges of the Rutland Lodge Orphanage.
I'm going to prise her away from my leg and sit her down and sit down in front of her.
Oh, she's straight in your lap.
Okay.
As you know, she always would be. As she's playing with your hair, your big sis Ebby has very pretty hair. Can I have pretty hair like big sis Ebony one day?
Ebony's not really interacting with her. She's still looking around, trying to get her bearings. Does she know where in the city she is?
You would recognise it as not too far from the orphanage. Just a couple of streets away.
Okay, she's going to stand up, take Tilly's hand, and start walking slowly and very apprehensively in the direction she knows the orphanage is.
Mm-hmm. So as you're guiding little 4-year-old halfling Tilly, she's holding her hand up to your hand, and then her other hand, in her other hand, is clutched her tattered doll that you made her, just out of pieces of clothing and some sheep wool that you've been able to put together to form just like a kind of doll shape. But she never goes anywhere without it, you know that. So as you're walking towards an alley, out from that alley stumble 2 other children. A young human boy and girl. You know them to be twins. Both are wearing similar simple clothing to you, as you know that it's clothing that the orphanage provides. The young girl has her dirty blonde hair tied up in a ribbon, a look of concern on her face as she spots you and your new limpet. Her face breaks into a warm smile, and Cassie runs over to you. Her twin brother Clive walks behind her, pretending not to be excited, but you know him well enough to see him masking his excitement at seeing you, with his hands buried in his trouser pockets, like the young adolescent boy trying to play it off smooth and cool. And Cassie runs over and goes, Tilly, you know you can't just jump onto people like that. Poor big sis Ebony could have been hurt. Are you okay, big sis?
He keeps moving forward. Not interacting with these children. She doesn't believe it's real. These can't be the children.
Okay, so Cassie slips her other hand, slips her hand into your other hand, and you're leading them. You're getting towards Clive because he was walking a lot slower. You're getting towards Clive, and Clive goes, "Big sis, matron sent us to find you. She says she has a job for you."
She stops. Just stops there. And says, "What job?"
I don't know. She doesn't tell us anything. All we know that is she has a job for you. She sent us to find you. And Tilly goes, well, I win because I found big sis Ebby fast.
I think Ebony's starting to realise that she's going to have to face whatever this is if she wants to get back to her friends, and she'll take a deep breath and keep walking forwards.
Okay. So you head off with your newly formed gaggle of children in tow, threading through the slums as if it was second nature, knowing the easiest and safest route for you to take. Eventually, you find yourself standing in front of a relatively well-maintained building. The damp smell that pervades the entire city mixes with the familiar scent of the wood and clay that the building is built from. Above the front door is a simple sign that reads, Rutland Lodge Orphanage. Do you go inside?
Yeah, I slowly walk up towards the door kind of tracing my hands over the fence and the wall, as if I'd never thought I'd see it again. And then taking a deep breath, I'll push open the door and walk in.
Okay, so as you push open this door, as you're pushing open the door, you can see through like the pane window that's on the door. And the first thing you see as you walk through the door is the list of house rules nailed to the wall immediately as you walk through the door. The list of rules that you have drilled into your mind from as early as you can remember. Rule number 1. Children are to be seen and not heard. Rule number 2. Only speak when spoken to. Rule number 3. You will complete your chores as assigned. Rule number 4. You will show respect to all adults that visit the orphanage. Rule number 5. Matron does not repeat herself. You look around and you see simple decor that you remember from your childhood, which is practically nothing in the public area. Off to the right, you see the old wooden table in the dining room, through which you know is the kitchen that you spent years cooking simple meals for you and the fellow orphans. To the left is the showing room. Bitter memories fill your mind of constant rejection. You remember the feeling of being on parade to strangers, hoping that one of them will give you a chance at feeling as if you were part of a real family, rather than a burden that was discarded. Out of the back of the showroom is Matron's office. Just past the rules on the wall ahead of you are the steep stairs that lead to the bedrooms. Clive starts up the stairs, turns back to you and says, Matron is in our office. I wouldn't keep her waiting too long. You know how she can be. Cassie takes Tilly's hand and follows up behind her brother, looking back at you with concern on her face as she guides the snotty youngster upstairs. Ebony, what do you do?
Just while I've got a moment seemingly alone, I want to just check quickly. If I attempt, I want to see if just for a second I could cast light in my hand, see if I've still got magic.
Okay. So.
I'm not going to throw lights up, but just
No.
I in my hand.
Fully get what you're doing. No worries. Mm-hmm. So you cup your hand to your chest, hiding it from view from anyone else, and you try to channel the power that you've taught yourself over the past 12 years to channel. Nothing happens. And in the back of your mind you hear Molly. Sweet starshine, you haven't awakened that yet here. This is a memory. This is what has happened. The past cannot be changed, only learnt from. And then the presence is gone again.
Okay. She's feeling slightly frustrated now, and with a bit more anger's not the right word, with a bit more determination. She's going to walk as confidently as she can towards Matron's office and walk straight in. She's not knocking.
Ooh. So as you pass through the showroom and you walk up to the black door at the back of the room, you feel a bead of sweat run down the back of your neck, anxiety knotting in your gut, as it does much of the time Matron summons you. You go to push the door open, but without you even telling your body to do so, you knock on the door instead.
Okay.
You're living a memory, Starshine.
So why am I here? Why?
to learn. And as that voice fades away, you hear, enter! You push open the door. You enter into a small office space. Simple bookshelves line one of the walls, filled with ledgers and journals. Journals that you may have flicked through on secret occasions in the past. A polished wooden deck sits in front of a large window. Light from the outside crystals frame the large black leather wing-back armchair. Sat in it is Matron. Her grey hair is tied in its familiar tight bun on the top of her head. A stern frown is etched into the wrinkles of her old face. She strikes the floor with her walking cane, causing you to instinctively straighten your back and stand to attention. I see you finally chose to grace me with your presence, Ebony. How long do you expect me to wait for you? Do you need me to remind you of your position here?
She's just gonna stare. Not reply.
Answer the question. Children must speak when spoken to.
Just a quick above the table question.
Yes, of course, my love. Sorry if this is dramatic for you.
No, it's so fine. Is Ebony able to like interact as herself in this moment, or is the memory
Ebony
that
is
she's
the
in going to replay?
18-year-old. It's going to replay. So Ebony is currently the 18-year-old embodiment of herself.
Yeah. So am I making
whilst her
choices?
consciousness, you want to make choices as Ebony that is 20 something.
Yeah, 28.
28. You want to make the choices that Ebony would make as a 28-year-old. However, you are currently replaying your previous memories.
Okay,
so even though Ebony wants to, in her mind, act as the 28-year-old, she will still act as the 18-year-old subservient waif.
Okay, so if I try to interact with Matron in a way that is not how the memory played out 10 years ago, will it work?
Probably not. You don't think so?
Okay, because what Ebony's probably going to try and say is, why have you brought me here? Why am I here?
Okay, so
Ask the same
as your
questions
brain,
as she asked.
Okay, so Ebony's brain is telling her body to say, "Why am I here?" But out of your mouth, out of Ebony's mouth, comes, "Yes, Matron. Sorry, Matron. I have a job for you." Matron pulls open a desk. Matron pulls open a drawer on her desk, takes out an envelope, and places it on the desk in front of you. I need you to go to the butcher's to collect the order I placed with him. Whilst you're there, I want you to deliver this to him. I know the streets have been more dangerous than usual recently, what with the increased presence of the adamantine guards looking for those stupid rebels. I don't have the constitution of such a task at my age, but I think you can accomplish something this simple. Or do I need to remind you of your debt to me?
Yeah, I guess she's going to just let the memory play out. What Ebony would say at 18, she's going to just let it happen.
So what do you think Ebony would say? At 18, not 28, at 18.
Yes, Matron, I remember.
That's a good girl. You reach forward and you slip this envelope into your... Because in my world, dresses have pockets.
Yay!
Just a little quirky bit of information there. So you lean forward and you take this envelope and you place it into the pocket of your dress. You turn around and you walk out the office. And you close the door behind you. What do you do?
As I walk back out into the main lobby area, I'm going to head towards the door, but I want to take one last look up at the banister and just see if I can see any of the children, or I don't know, anything that she might have missed first time round in this scenario when she was really living it.
So from your angle, you can just about see the top of the stairway.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see Cassie or Tilly, you can hear them playing. So you know that Cassie is taking Tilly upstairs to keep her busy, keep her entertained until dinner time. At the top of the stairs you see Clive sat, kind of hiding behind the corner, looking through the banisters, watching for you. And he locks eyes with you. And he just nods.
I'm going to nod back and then go out the door.
So as you head out onto the street and head towards the butcher's shop, you take a breath and you go. As you travel, you notice groups of armoured guards patrolling the streets of the slums. You remember that this wasn't normal before. All the talk of rebels and an anti-royalist militia. You long for the days when you didn't have to sneak through the back alleys to go to the shop, as Matron ordered. You remember that because you have to be stealthy now, you have to sneak to not get caught. Your trips take longer than they used to, and Matron doesn't like that. Could you roll me a stealth check, please?
Mm-hmm. That was an 11 plus 3, so I got 14. I'm rolling very mid tonight.
I mean, that is fine. It passes, don't worry. So, your walk is uneventful. Well, not your walk, your scurrying is uneventful. You know where you're going, you know the back streets, you know the rabbit holes to hide in to make sure that you're not spotted. You're not hiding anything from the guards, but you know that if they catch you, they will accost you. They will make the trip longer. Matron will be angry. You might miss the butchers, it might close. And also, the knights aren't the nicest of people. So eventually you locate and enter the butcher's shop. The smell of offal and questionable meats pervade your senses as you walk up to the dwarf that runs the shop in his bloodied apron. In one hand he's chopping down with a hefty cleaver into an unknown meaty substance.
I'm going to hand him the paper from Matron and just say, an order from Matron.
Oh, Miss Ebony, nice to see you as always. You're looking wonderful as usual. You said you're here to pick up Matron's order, are you?
Yes, please.
And is that something else for me? He reaches out and he takes the letter from you. He goes, give me just a minute, I'll go get your order. He's out the back in the cold. He goes out the back of the shop. As he's going out, you see him opening this letter and reading it as he's walking. A couple of minutes pass. And then the butcher comes back with in World War II kind of times where everything was wrapped in brown paper, tied up with string parcel. He hands you this medium-sized parcel of freshly cut, wrapped meats. And goes, here's your order, Miss Ebony.
Thank you.
Now, you're more than welcome, love. You know that. You're always welcome here. Matron's already paid, so you don't have to worry about that. You get home safe, you hear? These streets aren't safe no more. Not this time of night.
Thank you. I'll try.
Oh, go on, girl. Go on. And as you turn around...
Wait, can I...
Yeah?
Before I go...
Go for it.
I don't know if this is going to work because it's in a memory. Can she turn back around and say, if you don't mind me asking, the letter from Matron, is anything wrong?
The butcher kind of... he chuckles and goes, oh, don't you worry about that, Miss Ebony. No, it's just it's next month's order. She's putting in early.
My insight check.
Of course you can insight check.
That one.
Wee! So you hear that it's the matron's order and you go, that doesn't surprise you. That is something that matron normally does. She doesn't necessarily send you out with some coins to go and get this, that and the other. She's a very fastidious woman. You know that she sends you off with shopping lists and stuff like that. She will send you out to collect parcels that are already ordered. Mm-hmm. She's not one to sit there and give you coin to go and purchase things. She will have already paid in advance. Okay. So you fully believe that is the next meat order. Just giving in a little bit earlier than you would normally do. Mm-hmm. So it could be that you're expecting another family to come by for another showing.
Okay.
So as you turn around to leave, the door opens and 3 guards walk in.
Can I just try and keep my head down, like hair in front of her face, like she does even now, and just try and scurry past them and just not stand out?
Yeah, of course. So as these 3 guards enter the shop, you are clutching this package of meat to your chest, head bowed, trying not to make eye contact as you try to skirt around the side of them. The leader of the guard goes, "What you got there?"
I'm going to try and just keep going if I can.
"I said, what you got there?" And he grabs your shoulder. And as he does that, the butcher's hand goes on top of the guard. You can feel it through, but he applies enough pressure to just get that hand off your shoulder. And he says to the guard, "Now you leave her alone. She's one of the local waifs. She ain't got no money. All she does is collect things for her matron and look after the children. I guess you're here to talk to me, are ya? Well then talk to me. You leave my customers alone. Now get going, girl."
Are they going to let me go?
Yeah, they're pretty ticked off with this butcher.
Okay,
the guard releases your shoulder and he turns to the butcher, and their full attention is now on this butcher that's just stood up to them, because no one stands up to the adamantine guards.
She's gonna move towards the door, but not leave. She's gonna, because they're not looking at her, right? So she's gonna just watch what's about to play out.
So the butcher sees that you're not leaving fully, and you can see his eyes looking at you, and he just sighs and he goes, "Alright lads, this ain't good for business. Why don't we go out the back and we can have our talk out of earshot? What do you think?" And the captain, the leader of this group, he goes, "Yeah, alright. You lead." And as the butcher leads off, he looks back at you and he winks over his shoulder, and the 4 of them pass through the back door and it closes. At this point, your hand is on the doorknob.
I want to run over to that door towards the back if I can and just try and listen against it.
Okay, so as much as you want to, your feet don't take you that way, my dear.
Okay.
And in the back of your head, Molly, "I'm so sorry, man, Starshine. I know that you want to know. I know that you're curious now. But you weren't curious then. Curiosity had hurt you."
So what's the point in me being here if I can't do anything different? What can I learn if I just trace the same steps again?
You will see.
I wish you'd stop saying that.
I'm sorry, Starshine.
And that.
I think it's cute. And the presence disappears from your mind as she chuckles that, because she knows that's going to get a bit of a rise out of you. So you step out of the butcher shop. Your heart is in your throat. You feel like you're about to vomit. You are clutching this package of meat to your chest like it's the last lifeline you have. You've had encounters with the guard, but you've never had or never witnessed something like that. As much as you try and stay out of everyone's way and try to just be a shadow on the wall, you're not stupid. You know something's wrong. That's not how things normally happen.
Am I getting the sense that this is near the time of the event?
You recognise the day.
Okay, good, okay.
And as you take in some deep breaths to just try and calm your mind, or the 18-year-old Ebony takes some deep breaths to calm her mind and soothe herself, she rushes back into the slums, into the back alleys, and heads back to the orphanage. Once you arrive, you begin your evening chores. You scrub down the dining room table. Clive and Cassie are there to help you set the table, ready for supper. Cassie plays under the table with Tilly, keeping her entertained with her favourite dolly, whilst Clive is in the kitchen with you, helping to chop up the meat and vegetables for the stew that you're going to make. Time passes, as if like a blur, like a fast-forwarded video, like a recording crystal that you would have seen in your travels. Someone's pressed the fast-forward button, and you, for a second, you're out of body, and you see one of the few scenes in your memory that actually brought you a little happiness. You see your family playing Happy Homes. You in the kitchen cooking dinner with Clive. Cassie playing with Tilly under the table as she likes to play. She likes to play hide and seek. She's not very good at it, but she's a halfling, so she's got some skills. So the table's set. You take your serving for matron to her first. You knock on her office door. She allows you entry. You place it on her desk and you leave. You head back to the dining room and you sit down. And you have a lovely half hour to an hour with your family, having dinner. Tilly's telling you about the kind of adventures that she's dreamed up with Dolly. And Cassie's telling you about the new letters that she's learning. And Clive tells you about a boy that he beat up that was hitting on Cassie that he didn't like. He's got to protect his sister.
But Ebony knows what's coming.
She does, but she still smiles. Because she's happy. Now. After the dinner, you all work together to clean up and get ready for lights out. Clive heads to the boys' room as you help Cassie put Tilly to bed. As you tuck Tilly into her... Oh, I just headbutted the mic there, I'm sorry. As you tuck Tilly into her bed, she looks up at you with tired eyes. Goes... Big sis Ebby, do you think anyone will want to adopt me?
I'm going to just stroke her hair and just say, one day.
She nuzzles into your hand and she goes, I don't want to be adopted. I want to stay with big sis Ebby forever. And when you grow up, we can all live together in a nice big house with lots of dollies. And we can play all the time. And she slowly drifts off to sleep with a smile on her face. Cassie gives you a little hug and kisses Tilly on the forehead as she climbs into her own bed. And you leave the room. You head down the corridor, past the boys' room, to your box room, the smallest room in the orphanage, your room. You get ready for bed. There's not much to do in there. It is literally just a chest with your clothes in it and a very small straw bed. But it's your bedroom. You brush out your hair. You get yourself changed for bed. You lay down. And you close your eyes. As you sleep, you dream of the white-haired lady you saw once as a child. You don't remember her face. All you remember is thinking how you have never seen someone in the slums that has such beautiful hair and such pretty clothes. Why would she be here? And you feel that familiar sense of recognition from your soul. Could you do a perception check for me, please?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
18.
Okay. So as you continue to stare at the back of this mystery woman, your dream begins to become tainted with an acrid smell. You start to feel hot. The dream shatters as you sit bolt upright, realising that you can smell smoke. What do you do?
Modern day Ebony knows exactly what's going on, and she's going to try and push 18-year-old Ebony to do the same, although I think that they would do that anyway, and she's going to throw off the covers and just fly out the door into the hallway.
Okay, so as you are flying down this hallway, Clive has stuck his head out. You nearly collide with Clive. He's woken up around the same time as you. He's smelt it as well. And he looks at you and goes, "Can I smell fire?"
I think the building's on fire. Get the girls. We need to get out of here now.
Alright, big sis. Alright. So the two of you head down the hall and you throw open the girls' dormitory door. And Cassie sits up really suddenly at the loud bang of the door hitting the wall. She goes, What's going on? Clive?
Cassie, we don't have much time. I'm going to pick Tilly up out of her bed and run over to Cassie, grab her hand and pull both girls out of the room.
So you get to Tilly's bed and you throw back the duvet and there's just a bundle of pillows under there. She's not in her bed.
And is that how Ebony remembered it?
Yep.
Okay. Good.
And Clive,
Okay.
you hear Clive from the door going, Ebony, the fire's spreading.
Clive, take Cassie and get out. Now.
Out where?
I'll run back to the banister and look down. Is the way to the door clear?
It's not looking good. But you do know that there is a window in the girls' dormitory that leads out to the courtyard in the back.
Okay, we're on the second floor though, no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, window, let's go. I'm going to run to it and open it. How far down is it?
It's not far, but they might need some cushioning.
Okay, so I'm going to grab one of the... I guess they don't have mattresses, do they?
Yeah, straw mattress.
Okay, I'm going to grab
so
one of those.
Clive and Cassie see you doing that, and they see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they grab, because it's the girls' dormitory, even though there are only 2 girls here, there's still a few more beds set up ready for any more admissions.
Mm-hmm.
So Cassie and Clive are grabbing mattresses and they're helping to haul them out the window to create like a landing pad for them.
Mm-hmm.
And Cassie goes, Ebony, I'm scared. Ebony, where's Tilly?
Ebony's going to turn to them and just say go. And then I'm going to fly out of the room and I'm going to run down the stairs. I want to get to the dining room.
Okay, so as you run out the door, you see Clive grab Cassie's hand and goes, Cassie, come on, we've got to go. And he kind of pulls her and wrestles her towards the window. And you can just hear her calling out to you, Ebony, please, find Tilly. So you leave the girls' dormitory.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go?
I want to run down the stairs. What's the fire situation looking like? Can I get downstairs?
Because you woke up from the dream, you passed that check. The stairs aren't on fire yet.
Okay.
But there is fire. Like, the window, the front pane of the window on the door has been smashed through. And as you're throwing yourself down the stairs, you can see smoke billowing from both sides. You can see it coming from the showroom, and you can see it coming from the dining room. So as you're flying down the stairs, what way does Ebony go? Dining room or showroom?
The dining room.
So as you reach the bottom of the stairs, coughing and choking and gagging on this thick, acrid smoke that is slowly filling your lungs, you run into the dining room. You see that the kitchen at the back of the room is ablaze. The fire is spread up the walls, along the ceiling. Everything's on fire. The chairs. The floor wasn't rock, it's like a mix of like clay and straw. So the floor's beginning to burn as well. Everything that you knew in that room is beginning to light.
I want to look under the table.
Okay, can you roll me a investigation check with disadvantage, please? Because your eyes are literally streaming from the smoke. You are coughing and hacking up this black sputum because of all this smoke.
7.
Okay, so your eyes are you are blinded right now. Because you've gone from the top floor, and as we all know with house fires, smoke rises. So you've basically gone from searing, burning eyes to the possibly safest place for you in terms of smoke inhalation could be. So your eyes are still recovering and you're blinking away tears and all you can see is just a blur. But you do hear whimpering coming from under the table.
Thank God, I was like, which room is the best one to go in? Okay.
So curled up beneath the table, on the floor, is a trembling Tilly. Tears trailing down her soot-stained face as she clutches her battered doll, whimpering like a lost child. Just
And she's tiny, right?
Yeah, she's about 4 years old.
And she's a halfling, so tiny. I'm gonna just grab her. Just no trying to be nice about this. Just grab her arm, pull her out, pick her up, and turn back to run out of the room again.
As you run out, you get back into the corridor and you glance into the showroom. Much like the dining room and the kitchen, the walls and the ceiling are on fire. They are consuming fuel at a rapid rate. The nice furniture that is put in the showroom for the people that have come to visit to pick their children is just melting. It is just fueling this torment, this terror. You can see the matron's door is open. It's issuing a thick cloud. What do you want to do? You're at the door. What do you want to do?
I've got Tilly, and I have to think about Tilly. I'm going to open the door and try and leave the building.
Okay, so you open the door, and at the door, in the street, is Clive and Cassie. They've made it down safely. They've got some bumps and scrapes, and Cassie's limping a bit, supported by Clive, but they're there. And as you go to step out of the burning orphanage, you realise at the back of your mind, your dream, the only other person that knows about this white-haired lady is the matron. You have to get an answer before it's too late. Now is your last chance. So you push Tilly into Cassie and Clive's arms. You turn back. You run into the building. Can I have another perception check? With disadvantage, please.
21 with disadvantage.
Fucking sweet. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
So through the dancing flames pervading the room, you can see that some of the ceiling in the office has collapsed. Trapped beneath the debris, you can see the matron. Her legs are pinned and desperately she's clawing at the floor, trying to pull herself out from under the burning pile. She looks up and locks eyes at you. Her bun has been knocked loose. Her normally schooled and stern appearance has been replaced with that of a trapped animal.
Help me, Ebony! You need to get me out of here!
What do you do? What do you say?
I'm going to go kneel beside her and say, talk first.
About what? This place is on fire. We need to go.
9 years ago, a lady came in here. A lady with white hair. She came into your office and she never left. She never came back out. I know she was important to my story. Who is she? Who was she? And what did you do to her? Where did she go?
She's still kind of holding herself up. She looks at you and she can see the determination in your eyes. She can see that if she doesn't answer this, she's destination fucked. So she sighs. She looks over to the shelf that's now like all the ledgers and all the journals are just in tatters now. So there's no way that you could use that to help you. She looks at it and she sighs and she goes, I don't know who she was. I don't know how she found this place. I don't know how she left this place. She came here. She told me. that you were special, and to not let anyone take you. She said that if I did not protect you, then it would be my life as forfeit.
And you didn't get a name?
She refused to give me a name. But she had strength. She had power. Everything I did for you, Ebony,
No.
I did to protect you and to protect the children that are in my care. I know none of you like me. I know my ways are strict and they are cruel sometimes, but I do what I do to make you strong and to protect you and get you ready for the world, because the world is a cruel and horrible mistress, Ebony, and she will not give a shit if she spits in your eye and grinds you into the dirt. I raise strong children in this household, and you are my strongest by far.
And you expect me to believe a word you've said? You raise children who are afraid to speak. You raise children who don't know where they come from. All they know is this and fear. How can you truly believe that what you've done is right?
Because fear helps you to survive. Those that stand out get squashed in this city. Ebony, if you are special, if you raise your voice, you are ground into the dirt by the adamantine knights. Or you are sent to the mines to live out the rest of your life, choking on dust and debris as they work you to the bone. I raised children that would be safe and hidden and not stand out. I did what I thought was right for them. You may not agree, but I did what I thought was right for you and the children.
That means nothing to me right now. If you want to get out of this alive, tell me more. Tell me about when I was brought here.
You came here as a babe. I don't know much more than the fact that you were left on our doorstep as a babe.
You're lying.
My rules did not change. My rules have never changed since I made them. The only difference with you is that you stayed longer than the others.
Why?
Because that is what she told me to do. And as she says that, what's your passive perception?
14.
Okay, so as she says that, as those words leave her lips, you hear a crack and a whoomp as more of the ceiling comes down towards you. You roll a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
12.
You are so engulfed by trying to get this information out of the matron. Yes, you may have noticed the ceiling falling in on you, but you were not quick enough to get out of the way. As you stare at these flaming rafters that are plummeting towards your face, time seems to almost slow down. As you feel two hands press to you and push you out of the office. They push you backwards. And the last thing you see of the matron is her arms outstretched to you, tears streaming down her eyes. She just shouts, "Live, Ebony!" The ceiling comes crashing down and obscures your view. Your lungs are on fire. You're coughing, you're choking, you're not hurt, but there's nothing you can do now. You have to get out. You have to run. As you go to stand up, you hear another creak and another crash. Can you roll another dexterity saving throw for me, please?
Oh, 9.
Oh, babe, you are not rolling well for these dexes, are you?
No.
So again, you look up. You are so shocked by what the matron has done that the ceiling just comes down on you and it pins you to the ground. And you're pushing as hard as you can because you've landed on your back. So you're able to get a bit of leverage. You're able to kind of lift it up a little bit, but not a lot. And as you frantically try to kick your legs out, you feel that knot of anxiety in your stomach that seems to always be there. Suddenly, just releases. You start to feel a warm glow from your chest spread out and fill your body with a power that the 18-year-old you has never felt before. All you know is that you need to get this shit off of you, and you need to get this shit off of you now. So you push with all your might, and you push that energy into the timbers that are laying on you. And as you push, you see a glow form, and from your hands, a set of spectral hands push out, and they help to give you just enough room to shimmy yourself out backwards. The you now knows that was the first time that you used magic. The you now knows that you just used the cantrip mage hand to help you get out from under those flaming timbers. You kick the timbers away, you scurry onto your knees, and you raise your head and you see that your escape route is now on fire. The fire is spread, it's connected from the dining room and the showroom. The front door is now ablaze. Tears are streaming down your eyes. You're coughing, you're choking on what little air you can find. You're panicking, you don't know what to do. You reach out your hand again and you just will that power that you felt just a second ago to help you again, to save you. And you feel it. Instead of a warm glow this time, it's almost as if you've just plunged your hand in a bucket of ice cold water. And out of your hand shoots a shard of ice. It strikes the area in front of the door, somehow extinguishing some of the flames. It then explodes into a shattering shard of ice and extinguishes enough of the flames that if you're quick, you can make an escape. Can you do one last dexterity check for me? Not a saving throw check. Or actually, no. No, do you want? Make it an acrobatics or an athletics check.
13.
Okay, that's enough. You are able to kick your legs underneath you and just launch yourself out of that door. You throw yourself down the steps of the orphanage, coughing and choking, gasping for some fresh air as you kind of army crawl yourself into the streets of the slums. And you lay on the floor in Kellner's slums. And you realise that the streets are full of panicked people. Other houses are also on fire, and they're quickly spreading due to their densely packed environment. You see people running and screaming. Others are fighting with members of the Adamantine Guards, being cut down like cattle for the slaughter. You look around and you can't see the children. They're not here anymore. All you can see is just a stampede of feet. You get kicked. You get kicked again. You're still trying to catch your own breath. You don't have the strength to push yourself up. Your ears ring and the world around you begins to spin. You're kicked one last time in the head and the world goes blank. And suddenly, you're staring into Molly's eyes again. You're still holding her hand. Her fingers are grasping yours as if in prayer between the two of you. And she goes, "Oh, Starshine, I'm so sorry you had to experience such trauma. Your life has been hard, full of fear and rejection. You have grown into a capable woman, and I sense greatness ahead of you. But do not forget the love you had for those children. It is the bonds of the ones we love and trust that give us strength."
Is that why you sent me back there?
Yes, Starshine. I'm sorry. I know it was a horrible day. But you had to remember the love that you felt for those children, the connection that you had, the family.
They've gone.
I didn't make this decision, Starshine.
But who did?
I can't tell you that.
You can.
I can't. I am forbidden.
By who?
You will find out.
That's not fair. You don't get to make these decisions.
I haven't made these decisions, Starshine. I am but a tool. I am just a facet for the white woman to use.
So the lady with white hair? From...
She nods.
She caused this. She's real.
Of Caused what? The fire? Or this now?
Not me to be here. This now, this reliving.
She called in a favour, yes.
Why?
Because.
What can this, how can this benefit her in any sense? Who is she to me?
You will find out. It was not to benefit herself, it was to benefit you.
That's not fair.
Life is not fair.
I get to decide what benefits me.
Life is not fair, Starshine.
That's not in someone else's hands.
She did not do it to control you, Starshine. She did it to assist. She did not want to see you die. You died, Starshine, and she sacrificed a lot to request the favour to have you ferried to me. She does not expect anything in return, know that. But she did it from a place of love, not of possession. She knows that you are you. You are not hers to control. But she could not stand by and let you die when you've only just stepped foot on your path.
I don't understand what connection she has with me. She wanted Matron to keep me there, keep me safe, and she's asked you to keep me from dying. I don't understand. If she cares so much, then why wouldn't she just reveal herself and just show me who she is?
Unfortunately, she's not permitted to do so. Hence why she's used me as a captive.
By
I
who?
cannot give you those answers, Starshine. I can't help you there. I have done all that I can. You are alive, and you have started on the trail. But I cannot answer much more than that. Now, I think that's enough sorrow for one day, Starshine. I think it's about time that you returned. I know you have a lot of questions, and I'm sure that they will be answered in due course when the time is right. Continue to protect those that cannot do so themselves, and you shall have my blessing when the time comes to receive those answers. As the words leave her lips, the coppery smell of the flowers grows, and you feel your body beginning to become heavy and fatigued. Though you try to fight it, sleep takes over. Your eyelids again begin to flutter shut, and you see that Molly, you can see her, she's smiling. But then her skin turns brown and cracked. She rises, and she steps off of the pavilion, steps into the field of flowers, and becomes one of the flowers. You'll feel your body become weightless and begins to lift into the sky. Just before you completely lose consciousness, you hear, "Well, my lady, she is definitely of your line. I only hope that she can find the happiness that she truly deserves." And your eyes shut. And that is where we will end tonight's session.